Inside Gaming is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Keep your location private from the strangers you game with online at expressvpn.com/inside.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday. Let's clap for Cyberpunk 2077. Careful you don't do it too fast or you will glitch through the world and fly into the mountains.
It's a cyber clap.
Here we go. Yep. Cyberpunk 2077, the most anticipated game of this generation that has quickly turned into a disaster. Also, a very good video game.
It's also a very good game.
I would be remiss to not say that. It is very good.
It's a mess also.
Yes, it's a hot mess.
Yes. So you've probably heard about Cyberpunk's many problems when it released last week. Its bugs and glitches, and most of all, how terribly it performs on the base PS4 and Xbox One.
It's created a massive backlash against developer CD Projekt Red from fans who felt let down, to say the least, after years of hype. And then there was a backlash to the backlash from gamers who are like, well, what do you expect? It was 7-year-old hardware that you're playing on. And then there was backlash to that backlash saying, well, it should have at least been in some sort of acceptable form. So yeah, just layers on layers of backlash.
Well, the developer apologized this morning in one of those classic yellow background posts that we are all so used to seeing at this point when they are announcing a delay usually, but the game's out, so.
But this time, CD Projekt Red apologized for the game's performance and even offered refunds, which is a pretty unprecedented move for a developer just days after a game's release. Yeah, not great. It also raised some questions about how forthright the developer has been over the game's performance on older consoles.
So let's dig into what they said, and this is from a letter they addressed to gamers, which made me laugh. They started off by apologizing to us for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. Ah, yes, those last-gen consoles that were current-gen until a month ago.
Right.
Yes.
I would say still.
We're sorry it didn't run on your Nintendo 64. Our bad.
Even though we also released it for that machine, so you'd think maybe, I don't know.
That line is referring to the fact that most reviewers got a copy of the PC version of the game, which in hindsight seemed like a move to keep reviewers from seeing how terribly it ran on other platforms.
They went on to make the understatement of the year, saying, we should have paid more attention to making it perform better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, it's no exaggeration to say that the game is a bit garbage on baseline consoles. We reported this last week, but the YouTube channel Rosero ran a comparison video of Cyberpunk on various platforms. It had a frame rate in the teens on the Xbox One S. That was with the day one patch. Could not even hit a stable 20 FPS. Yes, I know it's a baseline Xbox One, but still.
The PS4 version was doing a little bit better with frame rates in the 20s, but still sometimes dropping in the teens. What up, you guys all right? Do you need more bagel bites? Just dropping in on the teens.
How do you do, fella teens?
And as you might imagine, there was a huge outcry online about all of this. Gamers these days have come to expect, sadly, a certain amount of bugs in a new game, especially a huge game like this. Cyberpunk seems to have set a new bar in a bad way, not just for bugs, but just overall performance. They are coming for Skyrim's throne.
Yes, and they're not missing.
I'm not worried about the bugs though. I think the bugs are fun unless they're like severely affecting the game.
They're pretty annoying.
Like I like to pick up a body and for the head to go like spinning all over through itself. That's cool.
After the apology this morning, lots of people were very quick to point out that CEO Adam Kaczynski assured investors last month that the game runs surprisingly well on last-gen base hardware. Either he was lying then, or I don't know. They're not lying now.
I guess the fact that it starts is promising. He was asked specifically how the game performed on base PS4s and Xbox Ones, to which Kaczynski replied, of course a bit lower than on pros, but surprisingly good. I would say for such a huge world, so bit lower, but very good. That's the answer. That's cool that he went back and double dipped again for more reassurance.
Gamers have seized on that surprisingly well line as proof that the developer was outright lying about its performance. Meanwhile, the folks at Digital Foundry did their own analysis of the game and called the performance unacceptable on base PS4s. It's bad.
Digital Foundry feels like your dad coming in and laying out the law, like when they do their little analysis.
Yep.
They found that the game dropped to 15 frames per second in some sequences, while the PS4 Pro dropped to as low as 18 frames per second, but they said it hit 30 frames per second a lot more often. John Linneman of Digital Foundry said the base PS4 version was drastically cut down, talking about visuals from the PC version, and said that they've clearly built a high-end PC experience targeting cutting-edge hardware, and that comes with a cost.
We'll talk about what else CD Projekt Red said in their apology, including their plans to fix things, but first, you know what's a great service that never needs fixing? Stamps.com.
Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by Stamps.com. This holiday season, more people are going to be mailing stuff than ever before, and this means that your post office is gonna be busy, and you don't have time for that. Stamps.com, however, brings the post office and now UPS shipping right to your computer. Mail and ship anything from the convenience of your own home or office. With Stamps.com, anything you can do at the post office, you can do with just a few clicks. Plus, Stamps.com saves you money with deep discounts that you can't even get at the post office. Okay? Stamps.com brings the services of the U.S. Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. Stamps.com is a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller fulfilling orders during this record-setting holiday season, or even a giant warehouse that's sending out thousands of packages a day. Stamps.com can handle all of it with ease. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. And once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or a drop-off. It is that simple. With Stamps.com, you get 5 cents off every first-class stamp, and up to 40% off priority mail, and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. My goodness, not to mention, it's a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters. Stamps.com is a no-brainer. It saves you time. It saves you money. It saves you money, and it is no wonder over 900,000 small businesses already use Stamps.com. So don't spend a minute of your holiday season at the post office this year. Sign up for Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. With our promo code INSIDE, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale, no long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in INSIDE. That's Stamps.com, enter INSIDE. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
All right, let's get back to their apology, where CD Projekt Red said they are working to fix bugs and the crashes and improve the overall experience. They said the first round of updates has just been released. The next one is coming within the next 7 days.
After the holidays are over, they said they'll release 2 large patches, one in January and another in February. They added that those should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. They added they won't make the game on last-gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. That's not what people want CD Projekt Red. They just want it to run. They know it's we know it's not a PC. I have a PC and a PS4. I know the difference.
Yeah.
People
There's
just want the
be
games
graphical
to run.
compromises. Yes.
That's fine. I'm sure you could take out all the particles, like all the smoke, and it would probably be okay.
I don't want the game to look like my aunt's summer vacation slideshow.
It's a pretty wide chasm at this point, and it is interesting that they keep using the phrase last-gen consoles, considering that the next-gen consoles have only been out for a month, and the game was announced really early in the last generation.
It just feels like a subtle way of knocking people who play it on last-gen consoles. But yeah, not everybody has a high-end PC, and lots of people can't get their hands on a PS5 or a Series X, even if they want one. So yeah, a lot of people are playing this on last-gen consoles.
Or a graphics card, even if they wanted a PC.
So then CD Projekt Red announced that people can opt for a refund if they want if you bought it digitally. They said you can use the refund system on the PlayStation Network or the Xbox Store. And some people were already getting refunds, judging by Twitter. Others were also reporting that Sony was giving them refunds even after they played the game, which is normally against Sony's refund policy. So maybe they've got some sort of green light to do so by CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red added that if you bought a boxed version, to try and get a refund at the store you bought it. Otherwise, they said to contact them at helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com.
This is also weird. They put an end date on it. They said you can contact them for a week about refunds up until December 21st, and then I guess they're done with you.
The letter was signed humbly by Kaczynski and the other heads of the studio. We're all very sorry that you're justifiably furious at us.
So weirdly, Elon Musk, of all people, was dunking on Cyberpunk in the replies. Maybe he tried to play the game on a base PS4.
We'll see how many of those 8 million pre-orders ask for a refund, or whether people will decide to wait it out. And you also, I assume, like in other countries, like in European countries or Australia, there's a lot more consumer protections. I'd be interested to see just the total, like, you know, how many will actually want their money back.
Yeah, a lot of critics liked the game, performance issues aside, and we assume that CD Projekt Red will be hard at work trying to fix everything as best they can.
But the fact is that the game just wasn't ready for release, and they pushed it out anyway. Back in November, the developer acted like they were doing just some final polish to the game, but it's clear now that Cyberpunk had far more fundamental issues.
I just feel like, yeah, they didn't want to delay it yet again. They wanted to hit that holiday target, and now they're having to pay a huge price. They said it made back its development costs. We'll see after refunds, I guess. But
I believe it.
Their reputation's definitely taken a hit.
Oh my god.
And it is good. Like, there is a good
great,
game there. Like, yeah, they did what they wanted to do. They just didn't